Hey everybody, it's Pastor Vern for December 21st. It's a Monday. It's Christmas week. Uh, as we go along with our continued look at the phenomenons and the characters and the things that happen during Advent. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the city of Bethlehem itself. Now that was Jesus' birthplace. Remember that Mary and Joseph, they trekked about a 3-day trip, roughly, from Nazareth to Bethlehem because he needed to register his family for the census so that they could be properly taxed by the Romans. And so they made that travel. And it's also part of the prophecy of our Lord that he would be born in the city of David. Now, Bethlehem was called the city of David because the great King David of the Old Testament, which we've hear and know quite a lot about, both his strengths and his weaknesses, his triumphs and his failings, but it always will be known as the great King of Israel. That was his birthplace. Not only was that birthplace, but that's where he was crowned. So the city of David has a very, very high profile when it comes to our faith. That it's a little town along the not very far from Jerusalem, really. It's a town that was kind of just a small town atmosphere, not a lot of going on that we can tell. And over the centuries, this territory that Bethlehem's in, and even though it's retained its name, it's been controlled by many different groups. It's been controlled by Israel. It's been controlled by Palestine. It's been controlled by the Muslims. It's been controlled by the British after the Crusades, or the Crusaders come through, and then the British had control of it for a while after that. And then I think Jordan had control of it for a while, and then I think now it's under the authority of Palestine. It's on the west bank of Palestine, in an area that has been for centuries contested about whose property it should be. About the earliest message of or mention of the city of Bethlehem, or the village of Bethlehem, is about 1350 BC. That would have been about 1350 years before Christ was born, where in some records it shows up that there was a community there. And of course, David come from that community. So I guess that's a little bit about Bethlehem itself. Today, it's kind of in a precarious place because it's on the West Bank. It's a disputed territory, and there are many larger communities that are crowding into it. And I think probably, if I remember what I read right, I think probably the majority population in Bethlehem at current time are probably Muslim, but they still have a very strong Christian presence, and I think probably will have that will carry on because of the significance of the birthplace of Christ. It is said that Francis of Assisi started the practice of using nativity scenes after he had visited the what was reported to be the birthplace of Christ in Bethlehem. We also know that Joseph and Mary had to flee Bethlehem into Egypt because of Herod, and that that Joseph really wanted to return to Bethlehem after their exile to Egypt, but God had called him to go back to Nazareth, and so that's what they did. We know that but Joseph probably had a lot of family in that community. It would have been felt like home, but so often it is with the folks we read about in the scriptures, as well as us in our lives. God had different plans. All right. Well, you take good care of yourself, watch out for others, and stay safe. Bye.